All right, good morning again, everybody, and welcome back to True Crime Loser. I hope you're doing well still. So, I just wanted to come and talk about how I'm slogging through back pain hell. That's why I haven't been around for a few days. And it all started when I was having trouble sleeping. I started going to bed later and later and getting up earlier and earlier, and I'm like getting up at 5 a.m. these days, and not like a sluggish, oh, I'm so tired, but I guess I'm awake. I like pop up at 5 a.m. I'm just like, all right, well, you want to hang out, little T? And then I'm going to bed later and later, so it's like getting to 1 and 2 and then getting up at 5. So I was thinking, all right, something has to give. I think it's just too many days of quarantine, of not doing enough physical activity. It's like my body, I think, is saying, why would we need to sleep for 8 hours? You've just been sitting around. We go on like 20, 30-minute walks every couple days. My girlfriend and I, we live like 10 minutes to the water. So we'll walk down to the water and go, and then walk back, but nothing like physically draining. So the day after I did the Maurice Wolin, I didn't do anything, but I did something stupid. The day after I did that one, I said, you know what? I'm just going to blow out all my physical energy and I'm going to go on a 10-mile walk. There's a long boulevard right by my new place that has bunch of gas stations and restaurants and anything you'd need to go to the bathroom or get a snack. So I said, it's really long. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to track it on my phone, just walk 5 miles down. As soon as I get to 5 miles, turn around and walk the 5 miles back and then be nice and tired and sleep. And so that's what I did. I left at 9:30 in the morning and I walked 5 miles and then I walked back, and that night I slept like a corpse. My girlfriend goes to bed at 11 and she was getting ready for bed, and when she came out at like 10:40 or something, I was already dead asleep. Didn't wake up the whole night. It worked perfectly. All right, so then the next day after that, probably just a stupid move to sit around in quarantine and do pretty much nothing and then go on a 10-mile walk. But so then the next day, my legs, nothing was sore. My lower back was sore, but the type of sore that, like after you work out, like a good sore. Like I felt good, right? And then so the next day, I didn't do much. We did our normal walk down to the water, walk around the block type of thing. Then the next day, wanted to recreate it, went on a 6-mile walk, slept again, slept great that night. And then the next day after that, went on like just a normal little walk. And then the next day after that, didn't do anything, sat all day listening to the Rocky Rambo Wei Nam Cam interrogation all day. It's 9 hours. And then woke up the day after that and couldn't move. And now it's been 3 days of just, I either have to be straight up or laying flat. Even this sitting is pretty brutal. And so that's where I'm at. Just walked my little back into oblivion, and now I'm reaping the consequences from it. It is great. New York City is on the way open, baby. I think they need to open it. It's all of the businesses they let stay open are buzzing already. They've adjusted, they figured it out. Like all the bars and stuff have set up where you can either buy drinks or food just right as you're walking by out on the street. Just the front door's open, and maybe they have a table so you can't go in the front door, but all the stuff to make drinks. So all the businesses that were chosen, like you guys can stay open, have totally figured out what they're doing already and are selling. Like they made it so you can drink out on the street, out on the sidewalk now, since they don't want people going in bars and restaurants. So for 3 weeks now on our street on the weekend nights, it looks like Mardi Gras. There's 30 people out in front of all the bars with plastic to-go cups with masks on, kind of. Each drink, the mask slides down a little bit farther. It's also hilarious watching someone try to wear a mask while drinking and smoking a cigarette, because the mask will be up. Oh, you got to lower it for the puff of the cigarette, bring it back up. Got to lower it for a drink. And then all of a sudden the masks are just... So all those businesses, but then the businesses that they chose that couldn't open. So it's like you got the vibrant, restaurant or liquor store or whatever one was able to stay open that's totally figured it out. And then next to it is just a sad barber shop that has that post-apocalyptic gray dust all over it. It just looks like it's never coming back. So here in New York, the numbers are basement low. I think it's time you just let everyone open. Everyone's figured it out. I think the numbers would have spiked already if that was going to happen, because like I've said, it's as the weather got nicer and the numbers were low, I think it's pretty hard for people to keep up that fear. So I think it's great. Anytime I see a big sign on a restaurant that says now open, I'm like, hell yeah, coming back. Everything's coming back. What else did I have? Oh, yeah, what marked kind of the end of my quarantine officially was, so my girlfriend and I took it extremely seriously for the month of April and then a little bit into May even. So it was like March 13th or 14th, I think, is when everything just shut down. I was supposed to be on Kat Timp's show on Fox Nation. I was booked to be on her show March 17th. Which is a Tuesday, and the Friday before that, everything went, and it got canceled, which is a bummer. So hopefully that gets rescheduled. But, so, say like March 15th through the beginning of April or of May, my girlfriend and I didn't do anything, didn't hang out with anybody. I would go get groceries once a week. We might go to Duane Reade or the CVS, Walgreens type store a few times. But other than that, we quarantined. We were like, this is where we live. This is what they're doing. We'll just try to do it as good as we can. And you go to the grocery store, and they really did a good job of taking all the safety precautions. You wait outside 6 feet apart. They only let a certain amount of people in. And like you go up to the deli, and they have a professional, medical grade mask on with another mask over it and gloves. So you go up to, say, the deli and say, I'll take a pound of cheese and a pound of the sliced turkey or whatever. And like I said, they'll switch the gloves right there, double mask. It felt so almost a whole month, that was my experience of just going to the grocery store, then playing it very safe. Thank you. Sliced turkey. There you go. Well, it got to May, and we hadn't ordered food. I think we're probably the only one out of our friends that we talked to that didn't even get takeout the whole time. We just kind of got into the rhythm of cooking our own food, and it was nice, and we were saving money. I blow all my money on... Every month, I'm like, I am not going to blow all my money on getting food, and then I'm like, I gotta go and get 4 fish tacos. They're just so good. So it was kind of nice. We were cooking our own food, had plenty of time to cook and do all the dishes, just being home all day. And so we got into this zone and didn't even get takeout the whole late March, early April. But then May comes along, the numbers are really falling. And so we were like, you know what? We ordered a pizza and some raviolis and a giant salad as our first, back into takeout, which was really good, but still playing it very safe. And right around that point, this is maybe 2 weeks ago, I was thinking, all right, at this point, all of the businesses that I want to stay around, I got to get out and support a little bit. So instead of going to the grocery store deli to get my sandwich stuff, I'm going to go to the deli across the street, which I used to go to. That's a small little deli, classic New York guy that runs it. Ball buster, hey, fuck you, get out of here, classic New York City deli. And I'm like, well, I got to go support this guy. It's been a month. At this point, too, all of the businesses that we had been back in had been really going out of their way to make you feel safe. Like we go to the coffee shop, the guy making the coffee uses hand sanitizer right as he starts your order, and he's got the mask on. And you can tell the owners of businesses are saying, if we want to stand out and keep going in this time. We got to make people feel safe when they're walking in. They want to, you don't want to see the barista coughing and wiping their nose and being like, hey, what do you want? And so everywhere that we had gone in, they'd gone overboard, the coffee shop, and I was used to the grocery store, which went real overboard. So I was like, you know what? I got to support these businesses in the neighborhood. It's time. I'm going to go and try to spend like 20 or 30 bucks in this deli. So after being used to the safety measures at the grocery store, I walk into the deli and the guys sitting at the counter are not wearing a mask. The guy that makes the sandwiches and cuts the meat and the cheeses and stuff, he's not wearing a mask. The cashier's not wearing a mask. The guys in the back that are doing the prep cooking aren't wearing masks. And so it went from like the grocery store, which was 10 out of 10 safety, all of a sudden in the deli. And so I was thinking, should I just be like, oh, I gotta go? And I was like, you know what, it's gotta end at some point. So I ordered my sandwich. I ordered some sliced deli meat and some cheese. And it was funny. So the guy making it, he kind of holds court up there as he's making the sandwiches, and he's just busting everybody's balls while making my sandwich, and no one's within 20 feet of him. So the only way to like bust balls, so he's screaming. So if he has COVID, all of this COVID, as he's screaming at the crowd, at the cashier and everything, who's obviously his best friend, but as he's screaming at him, all of it is just spraying into my cold sandwich. So he's like talking to the cashier, like, dude, I swear to God, you are the biggest fucking pussy I have ever met in my... And then he'll ask me a sandwich question, like, bro, you want oil and vinegar? And I was like, yes, please. And he's like spraying, and then he talks again to like the guys at the counter, like, the Mets are going to be horrible this year. So he wraps up my sandwich. He's like, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for coming in. And I am sitting there like, should I not even eat this or whatever it is? I watch the news, so I'm... Yeah, you watch the news and they're still like, we might need to be quarantined for another 5 years. We're going to talk to the experts about it. And so I'm sitting there with the sandwich that's cold. And I was like, you know what? I think it's over. And I sat there in the sunshine eating my COVID sandwich. It was 2 weeks ago, so I feel like I'm still here. Didn't get it. And going to try to be as safe as possible while also just coming out of it realistically. I think it's really good that they opened all the beaches, because everything that I hear about it is that vitamin D is one of the most important things, and the beach is where a lot of people, a lot of retired people, a lot of older people that have sat inside all winter watching the news, that's like where you go out and mainline a little vitamin D. You get on the swimsuit and you go out there and you plop your big white body in the sand and you soak it up. So I think it's great that they opened up the beaches. Go out, get some sun, stay safe. But, also at a certain point, the businesses that you want to stay around, try to support them, because that's just how it works. But anyway, I'm hoping my back feels way better. I've always had where it's like, my back is out, and then it hurts really bad that day, and then the next day it still hurts, but it's significantly better, and then the next day after that, it's just kind of totally better. But this has been 3 days now of just extreme lower back. I can't do anything. I'm useless, but I don't know, I'm going to go on a little walk right now, try to loosen it up. But anyway, wanted to do a little ramble video since I haven't been on for a few days. But once again, I hope you're doing great. I will see you next time. We're going to do the Rocky Rambo Wayne Nam Cam interrogation. Should be fun. Keep slogging through. I love you all. Talk to you later. Shamita.